Are you the type of person to always put the needs of others before your own? Do you feel guilty or ashamed when you prioritize your needs, even if it's your own well-being? Is that behavior still encouraged to this day by the people who benefit from it the most in your life? I see you, I was that person before. But it's time to break free from that cycle of extreme empathy and people-pleasing tendencies that lead to burnout, to resentment, and to self-neglect. In this video, let's explore the guilt that we can feel in these instances that can be extremely debilitating and prevents us from fulfilling and taking care of our own needs, our own desires, and most importantly, our own well-being. In this video, I will share 3 effective tips to let go of the guilt of choosing ourselves so we can create space for more joy, abundance, happiness, and fulfillment in our lives. Let's show ourselves the love and compassion we deserve, embrace our true selves and authenticity, and being okay putting ourselves first so we can only pour the overflow and not the actual cup that we need to survive, that we need to function the best way possible in this life. Welcome to Conscious Matters. I'm Melissa. On this channel, I talk about conscious living through empowerment and holistic wellness, especially mindfulness. Extreme empathy and people-pleasing are 2 behaviors, and I would even say coping mechanisms that stem from different reasons. But ultimately, both of them refer to a pattern of behavior where someone, an individual, excessively prioritizes the needs and feelings of others, even above their own, and oftentimes at the detriment of their own well-being. So you can feel and say, but it's great, this person is selfless, this person is so helpful. Why would it be something negative? Why wouldn't we celebrate that? I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, because that person has a huge inner struggle of balancing their own needs and the one of others. And most of the time, they don't even know their needs. What do they need? What they desire? Because they're so focused on serving others, of being there for others, to be dependable and reliable for others, that they end up forgetting their own existence, their own value, their own importance, forgetting that they matter altogether. And that is completely toxic, first of all. And this is, of course, serving others, the one that benefit from the selflessness of that person on a continuous basis. But what about that person who is self-abandoning themselves, who is self-neglecting themselves, and feeling a huge amount of guilt and confusion when they suddenly have this little inner voice telling them, hey, what about me? Can you please fulfill my needs too? They feel guilt, they feel shame, they feel, and sometimes even resentment, like, I'm doing all of that, but it's not reciprocated as much. And most importantly, it is not giving me enough room, enough time to cultivate that self-awareness, to be able to see, okay, what do I need? Because I'm a human too. I have needs and desires. I've been stretching myself so thin for so many years that I don't even know myself anymore, because I geared my mindset or my whole existence towards the external. So hopefully you can see the issue here. The problem with extreme empathy, I'm not talking about general empathy or being nice to people, helping people and serving others for the sake of it, but also fulfilling your own needs and desires and taking care of yourself and being responsible for your thoughts and emotions. I'm not talking about that case, because that is the rational, the healthy behavior, I would even say. I'm talking about the extreme. I'm talking about the overgivers, the people pleasers, the one who put their own selves at the last place. So much so that they don't even know their own limits, their own energy budget, how much they can give without depleting themselves, because they are at the mercy of others, because they give the habit to others of them being the go-to person every time that they need, from the smallest to the biggest thing. To me, the big issue with that is that the people pleaser, the overgiver, the extremely empathetic person do all of that, of course, as I said at the beginning, as a coping mechanism, because most probably in their childhood, they realize maybe in their family or at school or with friends that the way for them to survive, to receive love, to receive acceptance, to belong, to have a little bit of recognition is to serve others, to help others, to be the good person, the good Samaritan, the fixer, the one who saves the day. So growing up, it all gets stuck in our subconscious, and we end up acting like that without even realizing the consequences or even the reason why we're doing that. Why we are willing to give the shirt off our back and be naked, figuratively, of course, but you know what I mean. Instead of giving your cardigan on top of your t-shirt, you give your whole apparel. And that is not right, because if I'm talking literally now, it means that now the needs of others, the desires of others, the goals of others are more important, that you are willing to do everything in your power, in your physical ability to fulfill the needs, the desires, the goals of others, but at the detriment of your own well-being, at the detriment of your own mental health, because you've been wired to be the giver, the overgiver, not even the giver, the overgiver, putting that as your identity and feeling that you don't matter if you don't do anything. If you're not useful, then people won't like you. If you're not giving a hand or being available at the beck and call every single day, they won't stay with you. They won't love you anymore. They won't interact with you anymore. You will feel rejected if they don't. So you feel that you have to, because throughout the years, at the beginning, when you're a child, when you're a teenager, when you're even a young adult, I mean, but depending on your temperament, it can fly for a few years, so on and so forth. But with time, things will start to compound. Things will start to get heavy on your back. With the years, you're not only acting like that and behaving like that within your family bubble or your school bubble or your friend circle, but now you acting like that at work. You're acting like that with your new friends. You're acting like that in your new relationship, romantic relationship. You're acting like that in every single area of your life, and that will lead to burnout, because you're one person and you're trying to fulfill the needs of everyone. Or even though it's one person, you also have yourself to take care of. So not only it can lead you to burnout and really hurt your mental health, but it can also lead to feelings of resentment, of lack of fulfillment in your life, because you will always feel like you are held back. You will always feel like, no, I need to put others in front of me or before me, because they matter most in your head. They matter the most, and that is why it's so important to work on your self-worth, to realize that you matter without doing anything for anyone. You do matter. Just you existing is just a testament of the fact that you matter. So when you have been wired like that for so many years, it's obvious that when you start realizing that you need to recognize your needs, you need to voice your needs, you need to act on your needs, you will feel guilt when someone asks you to do something and you cannot, because you have to take care of yourself first in order to be able to feel good and healthy within yourself, so you can give good and healthy help and action towards others. But that guilt is hard to carry when you pretty much feel that it's wrong to take care of you instead of taking care of others. Guilt is a complex emotion, because a healthy dose of guilt is actually good. It helps you recognize when you're doing something wrong or hurtful to others, and help us make amends and apologize, learn from our mistakes so we can do better the next time. However, when guilt becomes excessive and chronic, once again, it can become a debilitating force that prevents us from fulfilling our needs and desires. For example, let's say that you had a crazy week at work and you're exhausted. You just want to take your Saturday for yourself because you're tired, you want to sleep in, you want to binge watch your favorite show, you want to cook, paint, whatever that gives you a sense of relaxation, a sense of coming back to yourself. But your mother, who is used to have you answer at her beck and call every single one of her needs, wants you to come first thing in the morning on Saturday to help her sort out her bills, to do her gardening, and to take her shopping because she didn't want to go by herself to avoid carrying her bags. Let's just use that example. Knowing that you told to your mom several times throughout the week that you are looking forward to your Saturday to be by yourself, to enjoy, to rest because you're exhausted, rightfully so. Okay, first scenario, you are so used of saying yes to her and her never bending because you are the one always bending for her needs. You end up saying yes, and on Sunday you have so many other things to do, home stuff, chores, admin, whatever, and you go back to work on Monday and you're not able to give your best throughout the week. So obviously your manager, or even if you have your own business, your clients are not satisfied with the quality of your work. They're not satisfied with what you are giving them because you are depleted, obviously, because you didn't take that time to take care of your well-being. You didn't take that time to take care of yourself. So you see how it can be extremely detrimental to you to not choose your well-being first. Second scenario, you manage to say no to your mother, saying, I need to rest this weekend, so I cannot come to your house and then bring you to the store. So obviously she feels some type of way about it because she's not used to that. She is used of you overgiving to her. But once you hang up, instead of enjoying your Saturday to rest, you feel guilty the whole day because you said no to someone who needed you. You feel so bad about yourself that you actually cannot even enjoy your resting day. So in either cases of these two scenarios, you lose. You lose because it's important to understand that guilt is rooted in social conditioning and external expectations, rather than our own genuine desires and values. And I would even say intention. We may feel guilty for choosing ourselves because we've been taught that it's selfish or it's unacceptable to prioritize your own needs and desires and even your well-being. But I think throughout our conditioning, there are so many things that were false, that were fed into our mind, into our brain, and it's our job and our role and our responsibility as adults to sort out the lies from our conditioning and reframe every single one of them in a way that is healthy, that uplifts us, in a way that serves our highest good, in a way that contributes to our own well-being. On that note, it's extremely important to recognize and realize and accept that self-care and self-compassion are not selfish, but actually essential for our own well-being and for our ability to show up fully for others. If I come to your home to help you move out or move in, whatever you want, to help you move out or move in, and I'm completely depleted, I'm in a bad mood, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm hungry because I didn't have time to eat because I was rushing to your place, am I gonna be a really good helper that day? Not so sure. I'm probably gonna break your vase and your plates and whatever because I'm not my best that day. And if I'm not my best, how can I give you quality in my actions, in my words, in my behavior towards you? I can't, because I need to feed myself that first without any guilt. And actually, if I genuinely want to help you, if my intention is for you to achieve that thing or make things easier for you without making you dependent on me, actually I'm not serving your highest good if I'm making myself so indispensable that you're dependent on me. If I want to do that genuinely and authentically in your highest good, not for my ego, because I will be the good Samaritan, I will be the savior of the day, I will be the fixer. If I remove my ego from that, I would want to take care of myself first. I would want to be the best version of myself so I can give you the best help you ever received in your life. But for that, it starts with you, or in that case, with me. It starts with I, it starts with self. Society, our family, our environment, our school systems, and so many other things are telling us the contrary, but no, it starts with self. You have to pour within yourself first in order to give the overflow. overflow, but you cannot give the empty cup. What are they going to do with an empty cup? Keep on drying you out? That's all they can do. And that is not good for you, for your own existence, for your surviving. You don't want to survive. You want to live to the fullest. So self-care and self-compassion, I repeat, are not selfish, but actually essential. By releasing the guilt of choosing ourselves, we can actually not only create more peace, love, and compassion, and joy and fulfillment for ourselves, within ourselves, but also create more meaningful connections with others. Because now we are more attentive. We are thinking about the highest self, the highest good, instead of just being that crutch that they can use whenever they need. When we are actually deliberating their own abilities to help their own selves. When we are interfering with their own journey and path because they were supposed to deal with these challenges and those obstacles by themselves to understand something about themselves in their own journey. But with us always coming and fixing them or fixing whatever issue they're encountering, how are we helping them truly? We're not really helping them. By overly extending ourselves, by trying to please others and not pleasing ourselves in the process, forgetting our worth and our value and how lovable we are without helping others or being useful to others, we are not being fair to the other person, but also to ourselves. So that's a double loss. I would say the first step to release the guilt and start choosing yourself and prioritizing your own well-being is to practice and embrace self-compassion. Releasing the self-judgment and being okay with understanding that you are human too. You also have needs. You also have desires. You are worthy of being well. You are worthy of being happy, of doing things for yourself, of saying no to others and yes to yourself. This is very funny how most of the time people who are people pleasers or super huge empath or overgivers are the one who are not doing that for themselves. It's so easy for them to have compassion for others but very little towards themselves. So I think it's very important to see and try to understand why, first of all, where is that coming from, and maybe think of yourself as your inner child and realize that that child who became an adult also deserves love, acceptance, help, care, and softness. You deserve all of that, even as your adult self. And it's not wrong to choose your well-being. It's not wrong to do things only for yourself sometimes. It's important to know who you are, what you need, what you desire, what are you about. Actually, I have both a video and a podcast episode about self-compassion and compassion for others. And if you are in that situation of overgiving, of overstretching yourself to the point of depleting your own self, go check this video and this podcast episode. The second tip to be able to release the guilt and choose yourself first is to realize the importance of self-care. Self-care is no joke. Self-care is not only about the salt bath, the candles, and the good meal. It's of course part of it, but it's not only that, it's also a mindset. It's about nurturing yourself, it's about reparenting yourself, it's about realizing that you matter and that it's okay to care for yourself. It's okay to pour into yourself just as much, if not more, than you pour into others. It's your turn, it's your time, it's okay to do that. And just like self-compassion, taking care of ourselves can actually help us show up better, stronger, more fulfilled, with more energy for others in the long run. Self-care also reminds us of quality over quantity. It's not about the amount of time you help people, but the quality of your help every time that you lended a hand. Third tip, boundaries. Without boundaries, it's hard to incorporate self-compassion and self-care in your life when you haven't determined your boundaries and haven't voiced and communicated your boundaries to others. Actually, having clear, healthy, and strong boundaries can help alleviate feelings of guilt, of self-neglect, of self-abandonment, because you know why you are saying no. You know why you are choosing yourself, why you are vouching for your well-being. It gives you a sense of structure and clarity. But the first step with setting boundaries is to know your needs. You spend so many years, so much of your life providing and fulfilling the needs of others that you most probably don't even know what you actually like, what you actually need. What do you like? What do you need to make you happy and fulfilled? So once you're very clear on that, you know what to say heck yes to and what to say no to. You start prioritizing in a way that feels completely aligned with your needs, your wants, and desires, and that's how you can allocate your time in a more intentional way. That's how you know how to say heck yes, I'm gonna do that, or absolutely not. Not gonna fly. You need to learn how to say no. You cannot say yes to everything. It's impossible. Once again, you're one person, one health, one life. You cannot keep on overextending yourself like that to your own detriment. Boundaries have kind of a bad rep most of the time. It doesn't need to be something so, it needs to be strict, but it doesn't need to be harsh and mean and being in conflict, communicating your boundaries. It really doesn't have to be like that. It can just be you taking back the example of your mom trying to have the Saturday with you when you're wanting to rest. It can just be like, Mom, I hear you. I completely understand that you are in a situation that is a little bit frustrating for you between your bills, the gardening, and shopping. I understand that. However, I cannot make it on Saturday, but I can actually make it next weekend, and I will have more time and more energy to help you with the different tasks, and at the same time, we could have some great quality time. You set your boundaries. I said no for this Saturday. I'm not gonna budge because I prioritize and I'm putting my health and my well-being at the top of the list. But at the same time, if you still feel like helping but just not on that day, you can offer an alternative. And sometimes it can just be no. You don't even have to explain yourself. Voice your boundary. It's okay to say no. And most of the time, people will appreciate you being fully honest, asserting yourself with them, so they know how to treat you, they know how to interact with you, and they also know how to not overpush, to not push your own limits, because they know your limits now. But before them knowing your limits, you need to know them for yourself. So trust yourself, believe in yourself, assert yourself, because all of that will never take away your will of helping others, will never prevent you of lending a hand. But on top of that, you will do it more consciously, more intentionally, more qualitatively, on top of doing the same thing for yourself, for your health, for your well-being. So to wrap it up, remember that it's okay to prioritize your own needs and desires. Put your well-being at the top of your list every single day. If you're depleted, you were depleted. Accept that. You can help, but not to the point of depleting yourself. Not to the point of you saying yes to everything when you actually mean no. This is not only lying to others, but it's lying to yourself. If you cannot even be honest with yourself, there is an issue. So every time that you feel this internal conflict of choosing myself, guilt, battle, let's take a step back, breathe, recenter yourself. Once again, mindfulness practices are of tremendous help to be able to reconnect with yourself, understanding yourself, cultivating self-awareness, self-compassion, self-love, and self-acceptance, to stop self-abandoning yourself and to stop self-neglecting yourself. You deserve more than that. You do. Show yourself the compassion and the love that you deserve, and let go of the need to always please others, especially if you're not pleasing your true self in the process. It's time to choose yourself. It's time to prioritize yourself. It's time to love yourself and care for yourself. You need to have more compassion for yourself. The way that you treat yourself is the way that other people are going to treat you. You have to show the example of how you want others to treat you, and you deserve to be well treated. Share in the comment section if you're ready to finally prioritize yourself and releasing that guilt of doing so. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, stay true, keep showing up for yourself, and let your soul lead the way.